We're probably alive now, right? Right? Right. Chat, if we're not alive, I think the best way to make us relive again is to donate a bunch of money. Just donate a bunch of money, chat. Don't even think about it. Just do it. Go ahead. $3,000, chat. Let's go. Bing. Thanks for the 100 bits, evil bit. He says, fuck you. Okay. Hello and welcome back to Silent Hill 3, everybody. We're guys over. Okay. So for VOD viewers, welcome back to Silent Hill 3. Good to see you again. After Silent Hill literally murdered my ability to stream there, we are continuing. Yeah, old PC games like this sometimes die for no good reason. They just soft lock or crash or whatever, and sometimes it can be very difficult to get rid of them. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up my task manager and put it onto my other monitor just in case. Just in case. So if ever Silent Hill tries to pull that shit again, I will murder it. I will smack it down with furious anger. But we should be fine. We should be fine. Anyway, alright, so welcome back. Last thing that happened was, that weird, creepy guy that's kind of... He's dressed somewhat nicely, but he's kind of creepy. Decided to tell us that our dad's an asshole, basically. A sneaky, sneaky asshole. And we learned through contextual clues that Harry Mason is Heather's father. Yay. Do Windows keys and arrows to move windows while they have focus? I tried that, but it wasn't really working. Maybe I was just doing it wrong. I walk into my superior Japanese steel, Mr. Dog. You want to come back over here, dog? You want to run that by me again? Bring it on. Get off! Censored doggo violence. Alright. Japanese devs don't know how to port console games properly to PC. The game references D3D8. Yep, sure does. This game was probably ported in like 2003. I think this was released a couple months after the PC or the PlayStation release. So, I'm not surprised it has some issues with crashing. I'm more surprised that Silent Hill 2 worked as well as it did, but that's probably mostly because of the fact that we had, like... I had, like, 9 or 10 different mods holding it together and pushing it into the right direction. This game, I have fewer mods running. There's been less fan work put into this particular one for the PC port. So, having some issues is... It's a thing. It'll happen. But that's fine. That's fine. Okay. Now then, I guess we're just gonna go to the elevators. Because the emergency staircase doesn't work. The only way through is elevators. Oh, not that elevator. This elevator. Oh, look, and now we're fine. Buttons. Alright, which floor should we go to, chat? I think we'll go to the first floor. We'll just do this procedurally. Silent Hill 2 is by far the most popular? Yes. Silent Hill 2 has become a cult classic, basically. Ah, it's this thing. Silent Hill 2 has become a cult classic and is a big fan favorite for a lot of people. So, there was a big project to fix a lot of stuff. Now, Silent Hill 3 has a much better PC port than Silent Hill 2 as a base. Much better. It still has its issues, though. Okay, so this... What the hell? I don't want to get too close, but I don't think it'll attack me now. Why not? All bark and no bite? Anyway, it's in the way. I can't get past it. And it's the ground floor, too. This ought to be the exit. So this lovely thing is called the Glutton. Also, look out there, and you can see some more wonderful flayed people. So the Glutton here has a mouth in its chest and a mouth in its head. It's kind of dangling from the ceiling, and it looks like it's got bits of its flesh stripped off. It's surrounded by spikes. What a pain. Yeah, what a pain. This horrible eldritch monstrosity. What a pain. And anything I do to it won't hurt it. If I try to attack it, nothing. It is immune. It is immune. Despite giving radio static, it doesn't attack us, though. What's in here? The Last Drop Cafe. Oh, it's the big guy. Thank you very much for the follow. Killer Savage 123. Glad to have you here. Hope you enjoy the show, and thank you very much for the support. By the way, chat, we'll be talking about the Glutton just a little bit more in a little bit of time. Get this insane cancer. Wow, really? You can't have much health. We're going to katana you from this point, because I've already used enough shotgun shots. Deflate! Deflate, you overgrown balloon animal! Alright. More shotgun shells. Yeah, I know, Heather. That was quite the frickin' fight. For some reason, the only thing in the fridge is liver. I hope it's not rotten. I got some pork liver. Fridge is empty, obviously. All that's left is a red blood stain and one god-awful bloody stench. Oi, governor, that's a god-awful bloody stench there. I don't know why Heather decided to suddenly become British. And, of course, the fridge is in the way, so I can't go behind the counter. Let's see. May you ask how each protagonist of a Silent Hill game actually experiences this otherworldly phenomenon? There seems to be a common link on why they seem to experience these events. Not entirely. They experience these events for different reasons. Harry Mason was experiencing the events in the first Silent Hill game. I like that little drawing. Monster? Question mark. Anyway, Harry Mason was experiencing the shifts to the other world because of the fact that Alessa Gillespie was influencing the entire town of Silent Hill and shifting the town itself over into the other world. So anyone and everything within Silent Hill was getting a shift over into the other world during Silent Hill 1 because of the power of her, and more importantly, the power of the god that was growing within her womb. By the way, Mr. Environmental and Vifrini, thank you very much for the follows. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here, and I hope you guys enjoy the show. As for Silent Hill 2, the reason that James Sunderland was James Sunderland, Eddie, whatever his name is, and Angela Orozco were experiencing shifts into another world was because they were lured by the innate eldritch powers that were left within Silent Hill after they had been awakened through the first game. And because of their own psychological trauma, they were feeding the powers that were there and experiencing their own versions of their traumas come to life as monsters. In Silent Hill 3, we haven't quite figured out why Heather is experiencing these otherworld shifts, and more importantly, why Heather is experiencing these otherworld shifts outside of Silent Hill. Henrik Abreu and Prince Cassos are now following. Thank you very much for the follows, guys. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here. Hope you enjoy the show, and thank you very much for the support. Alright. Hey, there's a book here now. A book's lying here. Looks like a fairy tale. So, you can see the drawing in the book looks a very bit like the creature that's standing in front of us. Once upon a time, there was a monster living at the gates of a village. It was a very scary and very bad monster. It would catch people and crunch them up with its big teeth. The villagers were afraid of the monster, and no one would dare approach the gates. Everyone was stuck inside the village. When the king heard about this, he summoned his knights. The knights eagerly rode out to defeat the monster. Ha! Take that! Their swords slashed and their spears flashed, but the monster wouldn't die. The monster tossed the knights into its mouth one by one, horses and all. What was the king to do? He fretted and fussed and paced the floor, but could think of no solution. Soon after, the village priestess came to the castle. She was a very kind and good person. The king asked her to defeat the monster guarding the gates. The book's torn, the rest is missing. I remember reading this a long time ago. I think I borrowed it from someone. I don't remember how it ended, though. Didn't I read the story through to the end? Hey, Asmodeus, what's up, dude? Alright, so that's part of the story. Part of the story. Unfortunately, we don't have the rest of the story with us for now, so let's go back to the elevator, and hopefully it won't die again. Wonderful. Thank you very much, Kaluna84, for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here. Hope you enjoy the show. Thank you so very much for the support. All right. I guess we'll go for the third floor. We'll do this. Never mind. Fourth floor? Fourth floor it is. We'll do this as procedurally as I can. Third floor doesn't work. Anyway, I will be periodically using the quick save function, which I tend to try not to do, but only because the game has been crashing when I enter elevators, and we're going to be entering elevators a lot here. Ah, wonderful. Metal grates and big holes. Big gaps. Exactly what we want in our Silent Hill. Thank you very much for the follow, Cap Gent. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here. What's with that fluorescent light? It's locked. Hope you enjoy the show, and thank you very much for the follow, man. Glad to have the support. Thanks for all the follows, guys. Hope you're enjoying Silent Hill 3. Okay, well, 4th floor is all locked up. I guess we're not going this way for now. Back to the elevator. Will I play Evil Within 2? You think I'd love it? I didn't really like the first Evil Within. I thought it was kind of not great. So probably not. Also, I'm really not willing to pay... If... Like, the fact I didn't like the first one makes me not want to pay the full price for Evil Within 2. Sorry to say. Thought the first one was pretty subpar overall. Oh, these are all broken. Not this one. Oh shit, it's these. So melee weapons really suck against slurpers because they're on the ground. He's playing dead. Oh, he got me! Oh, he's grabbed me, he's got teeth. Heather, why do you keep falling for this? Keep aiming at him. Until he twitches. Oh shit. These little sons of bitches. Step on him. Kick him. Kick him. He loves it. Ugh. Little bastards. Wait, this isn't... Yeah, this isn't an emulator. This is a PC port for Absol. Alright. Okay. Alright. Remember, chat, the combat in Silent Hill 2 is bad on purpose because we are not... Combat Man. We are 17-year-old girl Heather Mason. So, of course, she doesn't know how to shoot very well and aim very well. Hey, a lighter. And a cigarette. No more cigarettes for me. I quit for good. Good for you. Good for you, Heather. And a matchbook. Can you get the lighter? Just gonna take the matchbook instead? Alright. Check. Can we have a hand for Heather for, quitting smoking? Good for her, you know? Haha, you're trapped behind a gate in an area that's impossible to get to because it's not on the map. Alright, you guys enjoy yourselves. How long has she been smoking? She's only 17? She might have started when she was 16. That happens a lot. Or even like 13, 14. Do you know how many people started smoking? No. Anyway, do you know how many people start smoking when they're like 14-ish? Quite a few. Wait. It's a big sheet of glass in the way. It doesn't break when I hit it, so maybe it's not glass after all. I don't know why, but the world on the other side is calling me. Started smoking when you were like 15 as well. Quit like 2 or 3 years ago. Good job, Scatter. Do I smoke? No, I do not smoke. The only thing I've ever really smoked at all is a bit of weed. Which, honestly, not amazing, not terrible. Also, wheelchairs. Yes, wheelchairs again. Anyone who's quit smoking, like, big hand to you. That's gotta be tough. Oh, yay, save room. The gallery. Oh yeah, this is the gallery room, isn't it? Almost positive that, yeah. Alright, just wanted to check that real quick. Big hands, chat. Big, strong hands. Picture that was here is gone. Now this is just the caption. Same here. And over here, as you may recall, this picture wasn't here before. Caption under the picture, flame purifies all, but these remains may a person find the road to paradise. I've seen this picture before. No, wait, I've never seen it, but I do know it somehow. So, if you recall in Silent Hill 1, the image of the final boss in Silent Hill 1, when we played that, had a very similar look to the woman here, wearing a pure white dress, having long black hair, and was basically supposed to be the mother of God, the incubator of God. So this is likely a depiction of the same thing, and that's why you have that big, almost otherworldly after image behind her, or around her, as she's being purified in flames. So, flame purifies all. Well, we have some matches. Picture would burn, sure, but a match will go out too quickly. Isn't there a way to make the flame stronger? What am I supposed to do with this? Well, what if we combine this with that? No? Let's use the pork liver. I guess I do. I guess I don't have the thing I need for this then. Yet. Mother of God. Let's see. By the way, I want to point out, ever think of doing Fatal Frame? Fatal Frame's pretty neat. I've only played one Fatal Frame game, but those are pretty cool. By the way, I want to point out that the save point here is where the picture of the painting of the repressor of memories, I think it was called. Alright, so I'm gonna guess that there's only one other thing I could do, is combine all three of these, but that's stupid. That's stupid. Why would you need the pork liver, too? I guess it's to make it foam when you pour it onto open wounds, aka like some raw meat. To make it foam so that it's a bit more flammable, I guess. Anyway. Behold. We've opened a door. The path to paradise. Also, that, again, rather creepy. I guess paradise is the 4th floor. Never mind, that doesn't sound like paradise, it sounds like the opposite of paradise. Let's come over here and look at this stuff instead. What might this be? The rest of that fairy tale I read earlier? Hey! The priestess accepted the king's request and went to the village gates. But when she saw the monster, she tried to convince it. She tried to Nyampasu it. Mert Khan 35, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here. Hope you enjoy the show. Thank you very much for the follow. Anyway, when she saw the monster, she tried to convince it with words instead of killing it.
Shut up, you! I'm going to eat you up!
The monster didn't listen to a word the priestess said. But she kept trying to convince the monster to give up. It's wrong to eat people, you know. The monster grew very angry at this and attacked her, killing her with a single mighty blow. Well, that's not a very feel-good story. Not a very feel-good story at all, video game. Alright, it's probably Slurpers. Thank you very much for the follow, KLBM 4983. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here. Hope you enjoy the show. Ah, now he's crawling on top of me. So, in case it wasn't obvious before, there is a slight theme of sexual assault with these guys, which is why they try and crawl all over you if they knock you down. In fact, there are a few sexualized themes in this game. That is but one of them. Ow. That's his attack. He walked into me. It doesn't help that Heather's wearing a miniskirt to make it all the more obvious of why he's trying to crawl all over her body. Get off of me, teeth man! They actually don't do a whole lot of damage, which is nice, because they're really annoying. The lock is broken. Also, there are bars on the door. And now we've unlocked this, so we can go back this way if ever we need to, but we don't need to right now. Oh, would you look at that? There's a bed and some legs dangling from the ceiling. Oh, you see that thing under there? It's a trap. Joel Rice, BLRN 1980, thank you very much for the follow, dude. Come on, Heather. Shoot the thing beneath the bed. I can see it. Alright, fine. I guess we'll walk right into it then. Thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here. Hope you enjoy the show. Beware of monsters under your bed. Oh, look, some safe little handgun bullets. There it is. Some safe little handgun bullets and a health pack. How nice. How nice. I saw him and it didn't matter because Heather doesn't know to aim. Whatever. We got the upskirt. Yeah, but it was all dark and you couldn't see properly. You couldn't see that she's wearing white pantsuit. Or chat. I can hear you. That really sounds like something is coming right at me. I still hit him. Good trades, good trades. Ugh. Pardon? Excuse me, sir? Can I help you, Mr. Growly? Whoever the hell made that noise? Hey, Sleep Shot. What's up, dude? How you doing? Hey, look, some change. I got a silver coin. The lamp's shining on some old silver coins I know I've seen before. I got one earlier, so I shouldn't really take any more. I mean, I'm no thief. I might act like one now and then, though, cause she's a white girl. I keep forgetting supplies is where health is. Alright, silver coin. It's about the size of a quarter. I get the feeling it's really old. It has a shield crest on it. Spoiler alert, there are credits at the end of the game. God damn it! Swings the sword like a crub while I'm making her. This is the normal swing, but it doesn't hit things that are below me too well, and there's also a thrust. But for enemies crawling on the ground, I kind of have to do the overhead. I would like more money. Hey! A cold machine! It's a plain old vending machine. This one is selling canned drinks. Come to think of it, I am kind of thirsty. I'd feel weird drinking anything sold in a place like this. You know what? I'm thirsty. Wait. I see the writing on the wall. Something written on the wall. Thus one's life turns to riches. What was a bag of silver coins is now the number in a book. Yet fate hath no price. Ah, but do people know this? What? Huh? Excuse me? What? Eh? Excuse. Chat, what does this mean? Am I playing from an emulator, or did I find a place to buy it? This is one of your favorite Silent Hills. I actually bought this game a long time ago for PC. So yes. I own the game. Koala March 36 is now following. Thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here. Hope you enjoy the show. Alright. Well, all that says to me is, put coin in slot. Charles calling me a thief. Just because I've, emulated games before. I sure do love Key brand soda. It's a life insurance key, get it? So, fate. Life insurance. Standard coins and bills over there. Forget about it. I'm not going to take them. Don't need any more. There's a tag on the key that says Albertan Life Insurance. Bought this from a vending machine. Looks real enough. Alright, so that would be on which floor? First floor, okay. Did you get the secret ending on too? Which ending? I mean, I've gotten all the endings before. The dog ending, the UFO ending, the Maria, the resurrection, the... I've gotten them before. Alright, I have no need to kill anything in this hallway, because I think I'm done here forever. Let's leave. Let's leave. Second. I see you there, little bug on my screen. Let me just get rid of him forever. Okay, so we should go back to the first floor, I believe. I'm gonna save the game like this real quick, because I'm a little scared of the game crashing when I enter an elevator again. Alright, so what pathways do we have? This leads to 2 doors, so let's check these ones first. God, chat, do you hear those noises? Noises are scary, chat. Very scary. Alright, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more potential rooms. Well, 6 more potentials, I guess. Total. Bap noises mixed with motor noises. Yeah, exactly. That's 100% what's going on. Bap noises. Bap, 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 bap. So yeah, we can't go that way. Oh god! He came at me like a freaking missile. Well, this guy's twitching around like crazy on that corpse. He seemed awful distracted there. What you looking at, Heather? I wish I could see, but the camera angle here isn't letting me. Oh, there we go. The end of that fairy tale. The king and his people shed tears at the death of the kind priestess. God took pity upon them, and granting their wishes, healed the priestess. The priestess opened her eyes, just as she had done every morning of her life. She went once more to the monster's lair. Fool, you wish...
Fool, you wish to die again.
No, this time it's your turn. The priestess had come to defeat the monster once and for all. As the priestess was very, very kind, she felt sad about this task, but it had to be done. Swords and
spears won't work. Arrows and bullets will just bounce off. You can't kill me.
The monster laughed. But the priestess used neither sword nor spear. She chanted but a single spell. Tu fui ego eris. Do you know what happened then? The monster let out a huge cry and died and vanished. Thus the villagers were able to use their gates once more. Everyone lavished their gratitude upon the priestess, and they all lived happily ever after. It is a feel-good story. Yay!
Tu fui ego eris. Weird writing. What was that?
Chat, do you know what tu fui ego eris means? She's the Dragonborn. Dun 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 dun. Anyway, that is Latin. I looked this up to be sure, because I don't know Latin. It means, as you are, I was, as I am, so you shall also be. Wrong theme? Nah, that was totally the right theme. That was He's a Pirate? Look, like I said, that was totally the right theme. Notice the static is gone. The monster is completely and utterly gone. Severe Wolf is now following, and Matrix Recrafted as well is now following. Thank you very much for the follows, guys. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here. Hope you enjoy the show, and thank you very much for the support. So now, we should be able to just leave. No more monster. But before we do... Yampas to... The elevator is now broken. So, we are 100% cut off. Just want to point that out. Let us leave. And hey, look! I think I've had enough of that gross building. I'm going home. My house is really close to here. Look at this! We're back to normal world. No longer in hell. Let's jack this car and drive home. Oh, we're gonna take off this vest real quick so that we can run a bit faster. So I'm in Yanpasu today. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you're enjoying Silent Hill 3 right now. It has spooked me once or twice. Alright. Go down this alley now. Caution. Daisy Villa Apartments. Well, if we, take a look at our house key. Daisy Villa Apartment number 102. We're home! We're home, chat! Apartment 102, right there. But before we go over there, let's take a peek around the corner. Washing machines. That's not my place. That's not my place. So yeah, Heather doesn't even try to break and enter. She's not even cool. It's not my place either. Where's my house? What happened to my house? To the stairway. I don't need that. My apartment is 102 on the ground floor. So yeah, you can run around and fuck around if you want. What's this doing here? That really pisses me off. It's like having someone spit on your sacred place. Looking at this makes my head hurt. Looking at that makes me head hurt. She is a pirate, chat. But what does it mean? Told you it was the right theme. Well, it's not my place. Why should I leave my apartment? Over here. None of these places are my place. Let's go back to my house. Right here. 102. Dad, today sucked a lot.
Dad, I'm home. Listen, something really crazy's going on. I think we should... Dad? Dad?
Mary, no!
Did you do this?
You're late.
But why? Why?
Revenge for 17 years ago, for one thing. If not for him, our dream would have come true. And then he took you away from us.
I'll
Oh,
get you for
why did
this.
it desync? Why did it desync? Come on now.
To fill your heart with hatred.
It was going fine a moment ago.
It must be this way. One day you'll understand why.
No, I'll never understand.
Ruined.
Try to remember me, and your true self as well. You will birth a god, and build an eternal paradise. He's the one who killed your father.
Ruined.
He gave the order. So, what will you do? I'll be waiting where all begins. In the town of Silent Hill.
Alright, so let me try to reload that. And hopefully the shit won't break this time. But man, that's rough. To be honest, when you watch streams, the game audio is so low that you have no reference otherwise. Is the game audio too low during cutscenes? I can turn it up. By the way, for the question about the movies, I think the movies are... The first one's okay, the second one's really not good. Hi, Squarish Kitty. Okay, we'll do this one more try.
Dad, I'm home. Listen,
Yan
something really crazy's going on. I think we
Thank you,
should...
Squarish Kitty, for the follow. Welcome to Bible
Dad?
Thump.
Dad? No! No! No!
Thank you again, Squarish Kitty, for the follow. Glad to have you here. Hope you enjoy the show. Nope, it's still desynced as fuck. I don't know why.
Did you do this?
I don't know why, but that seems to be the only cutscene that's just broken. I'm sorry, guys. I have no freaking clue why that cutscene is broken. Every other cutscene's worked fine. But that's definitely desynced because of the running sound. I don't know why. Maybe it's just the transition doesn't work too well. Sleepshot99 is now following. Thank you very much for the follow, dude. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here. Hope you enjoy the show, and thank you again for the support. I'm gonna turn the volume down again, because it's just gonna be a bunch of music and fights. So this is our first boss fight since the split worm, way back at the beginning of the game when we were in the mall. And this is a relatively difficult boss, actually. Where's the submachine gun? I don't have that. That was only in the dream sequence. So, this guy is very strong. This guy is a big step up from the worm. Darn, I missed. I keep missing. There's a hit. So, the main gimmick with this guy is if I try to shoot him in the face, he blocks it. So I actually have to get shots off after he is turned around. I can only hit him in the back, which is really makes it a lot tougher. And he's real fast. Kick him! Kick him! Get wrecked, nerd. Kick the shit out of him. Kick him to death, Heather. He killed your dad. He deserves it. He killed Harry. So it's a little dangerous to start kicking now that he's starting to get up like that. Fuck you! Fuck you, you killed Harry!
I don't know what to say.
Then don't say anything. I'm fine, so just get out of here and leave me alone already!
Wow, this
Calm
desynced
down.
really hard out of nowhere.
Calm down? How am I supposed to do that? My father is dead! He's murdered! Get out! This is all your fault! If it weren't for you,
I'm sorry.
then go!
If it'll make you feel better, I will.
And that really kills some of the tension.
Is he okay like this?
What else can I do? There's no one here to give him a decent burial.
And now it's fine. Thanks, Konami, for the amazing PC port.
I'm sorry, Dad.
What do you do now?
I'm going to Silent Hill.
What's in Silent Hill?
I don't know.
Do you think it's safe?
Of course it isn't. I don't know what kind of hell is waiting for me there, but
This
I've
is
got no other
desynced so
choice.
hard.
I don't care about God or paradise. If that's what she believes, then fine. But she won't get away with what she did. When I find her, I'll kill her myself.
This is really bad, because this is one of the most pivotal cutscenes in the game.
Revenge doesn't solve.
Alright, alright. Here's what we're gonna do. I'm not leaving it like this. Nah, it's not going down like that. No, 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 no. We're restarting the game. And hopefully that'll fix it. Hopefully. And if it doesn't, I'm gonna be really annoyed. I'll do that whole boss fight again to fix it. Bing. Anyway, thank you, Panjong Yi, X Fire Girls X, and Doomed2535 for the follows, guys. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here. Hope you enjoy the show, and thank you very much for the follows. No, not new game. Alright, we're gonna load this and see if the cutscenes are fixed. Time to buy a PS2. I have a PS2. I would have to buy a capture card. And equipment for the capture card. Alright.
Did you do this?
You're late.
But why? Why?
Revenge for 17 years ago, for one thing. If not for him, our dream would have come true. And then he took you away from us.
I don't know why. This is so weird. This cutscene just seems to absolutely murder the sync. Give me 1 sec. 1 sec, chat. I might be able to save this for at least the moment. Ugh. It's just gross. Bing. Emulation is pretty good. It's alright. It's not as good as the... Like, the visual quality and audio quality isn't as good as this can get. I did try something. Alright, let's see if this cutscene still desyncs like crazy.
Did you do this?
You're late.
But why? Why?
Revenge for 17 years years ago, for one thing. If not for him, our dream would have come true. And then he took you away from us.
I'll get you for this!
And I found a way to fix it again.
There is another reason. To fill your heart with hatred.
I did it, chat.
It must be this way. One day
What a monster.
why?
No, I'll never understand!
You must try to remember me, and your true self as well. You will birth a god, and build an eternal paradise. He's the one who killed your father. I merely gave the order. So, what will you do?
Murder this piece of shit again.
I'll be waiting where all begins. In the town of Silent Hill.
Hey, look. The game is much more impactful when stuff fucking sinks itself, Konami. Fuck him, go next? No, I'm killing him, Talviosa. Fuck you. Hey, if you guys are watching on the VOD, or even if you're watching live, sorry about that, and the rampant desyncing. Kind of a little bit out of my hands because Konami's really, really, really good at making bad PC ports of their games. Silent Hills especially. Alright, well, let's murder this nerd again. I'm gonna fucking crush him in this fight. Nope. Told you, chat, I'm gonna crush him in this fight. It's gonna go fast. This is actually one of the harder fights in the game, but considering I just did a moment ago, I know exactly how to abuse him and his AI patterns. That's the one thing I was trying to avoid, was getting hit by that. Oh well. No big deal. We're speed running now. Konami pissed me off, so I speed ran their hard boss. Get wrecked. Now play the cutscene right. I demand atmosphere and feelings in my playthrough.
I don't know what to say.
Thank you.
Then don't say anything. I'm fine, so just get out of here and leave me alone already!
Calm down.
Calm down? How am I supposed to do that? My father is dead! He's murdered! Get out! This is all your fault! If it weren't for you,
I'm sorry.
then go!
If it'll make you feel better, I will. Is he okay like this?
What else can I do? There's no one here to give him a decent burial. I'm sorry, Dad.
What do you do now?
I'm going to Silent Hill.
What's in Silent Hill?
I don't know.
Do you think it's safe?
Of course it isn't. I don't know what kind of hell is waiting for me there, but I've got no other choice. I don't care about God or paradise. If that's what she believes, then fine. But she won't get away with what she did. When I find her, I'll kill her myself.
Revenge doesn't solve anything.
Maybe not, but that's what I'm going to do.
How are you gonna get there?
None of your business.
I'll give you a ride.
I don't need your help.
Yeah, but it's too far to walk. Besides, I'm partly responsible for this. I'll bring the car around back. Come by and we'll finish saying goodbye.
You know, you might die too.
That's fine. Nobody's gonna cry over my grave.
Okay. There we go. Finally, atmosphere restored. We've done it. I don't have a map of my own home. Why would you need one? So, let's go over the multiple cutscenes. First, Heather comes home to find Harry stabbed through the heart. Stabbed right through the chest in his easy chair. Her dad, Harry Mason. And follows the trail of blood. By the way, she has a very, very believable crying scene. That is some grade A voice acting for the crying scene there. It is very Bible thump. On following the blood, she finds Claudia. Again. So, Claudia talks about remembering who your true self is, getting revenge on Harry Mason for killing for something from 17 years ago. Heather herself is only 17 years old. And now we can really put pieces together that might have been a little bit harder to realize before. So, Heather is more than just Harry's daughter. She is the infant that was given to him by the incubator at the end of Silent Hill 1. The incubator was made up of Alessa Gillespie and his daughter, who had merged together because they were originally the same person. So that it stands to reason that the child that was given to him was probably part of Alessa. In fact, it might even be basically a reincarnation of Alessa. And that's why the cult of Silent Hill is so interested in Heather over anything else. Douglas, the old guy that was here, is probably just here because he's a detective that was hired by the cult of Silent Hill to find Heather in the first place. And, well, you know, he's figured out that the people that hired him aren't the greatest people in the world. They're probably kind of shitty. Very shitty. Really shitty. And because of the guilt he feels over Heather losing her dad, he's offered to drive her to Silent Hill. Dad's bookshelf. Nothing unusual. Thank you, Langzhenyu1997, for the follow. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here. Hope you enjoy the show, and thank you very much for the support. I also want to point out that the model they used for Harry was an improved model of his PS1 model. I'll find that woman and make her pay. I promise I will. Wonder if my dad would be mad at me for thinking that way. I'll be back, Dad. I promise I'll come home soon. Take a hot shower. No? No shower? By the way, Alessa has blood on her... I'm sorry. Heather... Sorry, I just got her mixed up because she's kind of Alessa-ish. Anyway, Heather has blood on her vest from crying while on Harry's legs. Again, I want to really point out that the voice actress for Heather did a fantastic job on the crying scene, and it was very believable that she was for real upset that her dad was dead. It's a good game. It's a good game. There are books on the table. Just as usual detective novels. My dad loved them. Dad, why did you have to die? You told me you were the strongest man in the world. Liar. Oh, that's so sad, Chad. It's so sad. To be fair, Harry saying he was the strongest man in the world is pretty damn accurate. Harry killed God, so... Jack Gaming MC is now following. Thank you very much for the follow, dude. Welcome to the stream. Glad to have you here. Hope you enjoy the show, and thank you for the support. There's nothing to do in the kitchen. I'm not hungry at all. Who could eat something in a situation like this? Look, it's a drawing. There's no need to go back on the roof. That monster is dead now. Besides, Douglas is waiting outside. Bye, Dad. I don't remember exactly when, but I think I got this doll at a garage sale. I still like it, but there's nothing I can do with it right now. Thank you, Juriz Uchiha. 123 for the follow. Welcome to the stream, dude. Glad to have you here. I'm exhausted, but I don't think I can sleep now. Morning always comes. It's corny, but it's true. But if your eyes are closed, it always feels like night. That's the hero's line from this movie. I always liked that line, but now it just seems stupid. Got a stun gun. Some batteries. Can't reach anybody, not the police or the church. Don't need to be here, besides there's no one around. That's what she'll say on any door you try to open that's not hers or an exit. Hi, Black Lives Gamer, by the way.
I just met some guy named Vincent.
Vincent?
He's a friend of yours, right?
I'm not sure.
He said when we get to Silent Hill, to look for a guy named Leonard, and he gave me this map. What do you want to do?
We can't trust him, but we've got no other choice.
Here, take this too.
What's this?
Your father was holding it.
To my dear daughter.
Started raining. Are you sleeping?
I'm awake.
You cold? What's the deal with Silent Hill anyway?
I know,
It
right?
used to be a nice, quiet little town. But now,
You've been there?
once, on a missing persons case.
Or James
Never did
Sunderland.
find him. But I'll tell you, that's one screwed up town. My line of work, you hear a lot of nasty rumors.
I was born and raised there.
Sorry. I didn't mean to offend you.
No offense taken.
Anyway, I thought you grew up in Portland. What's wrong? Feeling sick?
My head's pounding like the worst hangover ever.
Maybe you're car sick.
No. I'm just trying to remember. My childhood. Something terrible happened in Silent Hill 17 years ago. A woman named Dahlia. She tried to summon the ancient god of the town. She offered up her very own daughter.
That's crazy.
Maybe so, but it worked. The girl gave birth to a god. You see, that girl had special powers.
Powers?
Her classmates called her a witch. She could make things happen with her mind. She could kill people just by wishing for it. But in the end, that god was killed by a single person. My father, Harry Mason. I guess it wasn't much of a god if it could be killed by a human being. But I think Claudia's trying to do the same thing again. And I've been chosen as the sacrifice.
You've got some kind of power in you too?
After the god was killed, the girl reappeared. She was holding a baby in her arms. Before she died, she gave the baby to my father. He loved me just like I was his very own daughter. Even though he didn't know who or what I was. It was so sudden. I never had a chance to tell you how happy you made me.
I'm gonna head for that Leonard guy's house. You check out the hospital. You got the map, right?
Yeah,
You gonna be okay alone?
I'm not a child, you know. Are you sure it's not you who's afraid to be alone?
You're right. I am afraid. I'm 50-something years old. I ain't never seen nothing like this. I still feel like I'm dreaming.
More like a nightmare, I'd say.
Yeah. I want to wake up and have a smoke already. Meet me back here when you're finished looking around the hospital. Okay?
Roger.
All right. Thank you, Top Brass 1, for the follow, dude. Glad to have you here. Hope you enjoy your time here, and thank you very much for the support. So, after yet another incredibly emotional scene, we've gained a little bit more information. That scene gave us a lot of information, actually. Some of it I touched on earlier. Very specifically, the fact that Heather is the child that was dropped by Alessa when she had become the incubator. And that's the whole reason why people from the town of Silent Hill are after her so much. On top of that, Heather says she was born and raised in Silent Hill, which is a hint at the fact that Heather isn't all Heather. See you, Evil Bit. See you, Gandrick. Gonna be done soon anyway, so thanks. Anyway, Heather isn't all Heather. Heather has a fair portion of Alessa's soul kind of inside of her body as well, is essentially what that's hinting at. That's why Dahlia kept saying you need to remember who you are. That's why Heather has all these memories of Silent Hill, even though Heather herself has never been to the town of Silent Hill outside of her birth. She grew up in Portland. That's why Heather is sought after by the cult in the first place, is because they're trying to recreate their god and rebirth their god from the first game. And that means that now I can actually talk about the lore behind a lot of the monsters that we've been seeing. For example, the split-head dogs that we've been seeing. The whole reason that their heads are split down the middle is a representation of the fact that both Alessa and Heather exist within her body. She is split down the middle because she has two minds trapped within her one body, trying to control different parts of it. That's why she has the memories that Alessa has and stuff like that. The reason that the split-head dog's body is burnt up and covered in bandages, and the fact that it shows up at all, is because, one, Alessa had a fear of dogs. That's why she showed up in the first game, or they showed up in the first game. And two, it's burnt and bandaged because of the fact that Alessa was burned alive and spent about 7 years of her life trying to recover from that, covered in bandages and in a hospital. So the dog is representative of that. It's taking on a visual appearance to re-jog Heather's the Alessa part inside of Heather's body. How many years is it between the Silent Hill games? If you mean inside the game worlds themselves, between 1 and 2 and 2 and 3, no clue. Between 1 and 3 is 17 years. That's how old Heather is. Going on top of that, the reason that, let's say, let's go with the numb body next. The numb body are those little tadpole-like creatures that also kind of look like they're maybe walking penises that have pale bodies, and they have a large protrusion and opening there. That is part of a theming of the fact that the cult is trying to cause a birth to go on within Heather. They're trying to cause Heather to birth their god again. And the numb bodies are representative of that. They're basically walking around like newborns, mewling around, trying to get to Heather and trying to grab onto her as a representative of that. They can also be seen kind of like literally a penis, because they have the one big hole at the end of them. They thrust forward to attack Heather. They're about waist height, trying to basically attacking right at her miniskirt. So it could very much be indicative of, symbolic of the fact that the cult's trying to essentially impregnate Heather in some way, shape, or form. We can also talk about the insane cancer enemies that we saw. Those giant bulbous enemies that look like they're just big walking tumors in a way. The reason that they have the appearance like that, and the reason they're called insane cancers in the first place, is they're supposed to be a bit more representative of the corruption that's rapidly growing inside of Heather. The fact that they're trying to get this god to grow within her. The reason that, remember, Dahlia Gillespie in Silent Hill 1 said that she was trying to fill her daughter with hatred because it was nourishing the god within her. Claudia, after killing Heather's father, Harry, said that she's trying to fill Heather with hatred, meaning that there's probably some lingering bit of the god already growing within Heather. Maybe some sort of ritual was done and it's already taken effect. So by doing that, she's trying to feed Heather poor feelings, bad feelings, to make sure that the god within gets nourished on the negative emotions. The insane cancer is representative of that. Cancers are malignant growths. They're cells that are they're cells that are rapidly overgrowing inside of a body to a point where it bursts or dies. And the insane cancer is kind of representative of that. The reason it's so strong is because it's supposed to be kind of a representative of the god itself within Heather's body. The split worm boss that we fought inside of the mall, straight up just basically sexualization. First off, it is reminiscent of the split head boss, the giant lizard, that the first boss that Harry fights in Silent Hill 1. And that is very on purpose, specifically because, again, this is Alessa's kind of subconscious within the back of Heather's mind, trying to re-jog Heather's memory of who she really is. So it takes on an appearance of something that Alessa would be familiar with. On top of that, the split head is constantly opening up what kind of looks like a vaginal cavity on the front of it and peeking out what kind of looks like perhaps a child being birthed out with its mouth, and moving in and out of holes over and over again because sexuality and birthing and stuff like that. Man, this is great lore and stuff like that. Top 10 out of 10 lore right there. What other enemies have we seen? The closers. Closers are among the first enemies that we all actually saw. So, closers are a bit trickier overall to give a straight up set of symbolism to. So the closers kind of have faces that look like they have a vaginal opening as a face for anything like that. And their hands at the very end of them as well have that. And when they go to attack, they thrust their hand forward and poke a blade out of it. So again, kind of reminiscent of birthing, while the face is reminiscent of just sexuality, sex itself. And there's other stuff it might be. It could be the fact that they're so large and they're wearing a female dress, and the fact that they constantly try to chase down Heather and attack her, or chase down Alessa and attack her, might be because they're representative of Alessa's memories of her mom abusing her, because her mom abused the fuck out of her. That's why the hands are so blunt and large at the end. And the outfit itself is actually really close to the dress that Alessa wears in Silent Hill. Boogeyman, have a good day at work, dude. And are there any other enemies that we looked at? We're attacked by? Oh, the Slurper. Right, the Slurper. How could I forget the Slurper? So Slurpers, again, I said they were very reminiscent of kind of rape in a way, because they try to knock Heather down on the ground and then get on top of them, and they're clearly male figures, and they're called Slurpers because they're making this little slurping sound, kind of like they're perverted guys trying to rape and impregnate Heather, which is kind of tying back towards what the cult of Silent Hill is doing. They're basically forcing a pregnancy onto Heather against her will. Another thing that could go with them, I've read this before. I don't know if I personally get it, but I've read before that the Slurpers may represent kind of like children in a really grotesque kind of way, I guess, in the way that they kind of grab onto Heather to try and get her attention and bring her over to her. The fact that they can't do anything other than crawl, and they're always making loud noises and stuff. So I can get it, kind of, but I don't know. I don't know if that's quite as on point. I figured, why not point that out? The boss we just fought is called the Missionary. I guess I didn't say that before. That's the thing that killed Harry Mason, is called the Missionary. Symbolically, I guess it's more representative of the fact that Silent Hill itself and the cult of it, the people that were members of the religion of Silent Hill, have become horribly monstrous with their actions and have transformed what could have very well been normal people into basically monsters with how they act. After all, the first game is about Dahlia sacrificing her daughter, trying to burn her or birth a god out of her when she's 10. And here in the third game, they're trying to forcefully impregnate Heather here, poor little Heather, in order to birth their god again. So, also, one more thing before we're done with going over monsters. The Glutton, the thing that was blocking our path inside of the offices that we had to deal with. The Glutton itself has a little bit of symbolism. And most importantly, if I can go to memos and check the fairy tale again. Once upon a time, there was a monster living at the gates of a village. It was very scary and bad. It would catch people up and crunch them up with its big teeth. The villagers were afraid of it, and no one would dare approach the gates. Everyone was stuck inside of the village. When the king heard about this, he summoned his knights, who eagerly rode out to defeat the monster. But the monster tossed the mice into its mouth one by one, horses and all. Soon after, the village priestess came to the castle. She was very kind and good. The king asked her to defeat the monsters guarding the gate. To which she said yes, and then she got killed by the monster. And then she came back and got rid of the monster. So, That is super representative. The monster itself represents Harry Mason. Represents Harry Mason. So, that is told from the point of view of Claudia. Because Claudia herself grew up in Silent Hill. She's about the same age as what Alessa would be. She probably even knew Alessa. The reason that the monster is right at the gates and preventing anyone from leaving the village and going out of the gates is because in her eyes, Harry Mason was a man who stopped their ascent into paradise by preventing God's birth. Harry Mason was the monster that prevented Silent Hill and their religion itself from moving on to paradise the way that they wanted to. So she felt that she wasn't able to become free because of him. On top of that, you know, the king sent his knights to go fight them. That could be representative of all the monsters that tried to fight Harry Mason, that Harry just absolutely brushed past because he's the strongest man that ever lived. I like to imagine Harry got a huge ego over killing a god. Now, the priestess is described as a very, very kind person. The priestess herself could be Claudia self-inserting into that story, or it could be Alessa in a way. So the priestess goes to fight the monster, and the monster just eats her up and kills her. But then all the people say that they're incredibly sad about it, and the priestess is resurrected. And the priestess goes and finally kills the monster. Representative of, hey, we find that right before we find out that Claudia has caused Harry's death. And it was said as something that had to be done, because Claudia doesn't see herself as a bad person. She sees herself as a very nice person, but Harry had to be killed so that he couldn't get in the way anymore because, well, fuck, if Harry was in this game, he'd probably go kick Silent Hill's ass again for messing with his daughter. So, and part of the reason why the glutton might not have attacked Heather in the first place is because it's supposed to be a manifestation of Harry. Or, if you're going from the point of view where the priestess was Alessa, then because Alessa is the priestess and the glutton couldn't kill the priestess and gave up on attacking her, it doesn't attack Heather. Kind of a little bit of a juggling you can do with that one. But I really like that one. That one's a freaking really cool monster because it's very much just, it's Harry. Harry is the monster. Harry was the evil because he's the guy that stopped the cult. And now that he's dead, the glutton is dead. And remember, and we get rid of it right before we get home and see that that Heather's dad is dead. The priestess is ready to go. So, let's read that item, Dad's notebook that he left here. Dad wrote about my past in here. As always, this should be novelized. To my dear daughter, I hope this will never come to any use. Maybe it's better if you never know. More than anything else, I fear the possibility of your going away, far from me. But sometimes we have to tell the truth. That's why I'm writing this, before I'm lost in death and oblivion. What happened back then? That has something to do with who you are. It all started 24 years ago. Coming back from a vacation, my wife and I found a baby on the side of the highway. Since we were childless, we thanked God for letting us meet this child, this girl. We took her home. 3 years later, my wife died. Another 4 years later, 17 years ago, I came to Silent Hill. I heard the girl's pleas, and I took her with me, not knowing why she wanted to go there. It was there that the girl went away. Not that she actually went anywhere, nor did she die. Returned to her original self. That's what Dahlia Gillespie said. Original self. That's what the young woman burned by her mother as a sacrifice to God, Alessa Gillespie. Half her soul escaped in those flames and went on to live in a baby, that girl of mine, Bars. 7 years passed before that half a girl returned to Silent Hill and made Alessa whole again. Newly strengthened, she vowed to kill God. God was a fetus nestled into the sacrificial girl's womb, was summoned with the usual rites. This was Alessa's wish, no matter what the outcome, even if her own existence were at stake. But that wish was not granted. My interruption meant she prayed instead for the girl's return. I alone couldn't bring her back. Dahlia did it. I only helped at the birthing ceremony to bring God out of Alessa. The newly born God wailed once and was dead. All from that girl's, and probably Alessa's, conscious resistance. That's not the end. After God had vanished in a glow of light, Alessa reappeared and gave me a baby. She looked a lot like that girl so long ago. And then Alessa was gone. Dead. There was nothing I could have done to help. I simply clutched the baby to my chest and ran off. The whole thing felt like a dream, but I had proof that it wasn't. The girl was nowhere to be found, and in my arms, the baby. Now, 17 years have passed. Feels like only yesterday, and again, it feels like a million years ago. I confess, I had reservations at first about raising that baby. Did I love her? Her existence was thoroughly unexplainable. I thought she could be that young woman who snatched away my beloved daughter. That led to sadness, anger. There were times where I put my hands around her tiny little throat. Several times I even considered abandoning her. That's what a terrible person I am. But I decided to raise her after all. I just couldn't seem to let her go. When you look at me, you laugh, so even now, I can't forget about that girl. But I love you. I have no doubts about that. That's all I ask you to believe. To my precious daughter, Harry Mason. Now I'm all choked up, chat. All choked up and sad. There's no point in turning on the TV. It's a hell of a goodbye note that Harry wrote. So let's go over all the follows and stuff that happened. I kind of paused it for a second. I should really do that next time. So, Imgrax, TR, Fight for Freedom, I Carumbla, Chris1206 Ortiz. Thank you all very much for the follows. Welcome to the stream, guys. I hope you've enjoyed so far. And Vigilante, thanks for the 100 bits. Man, your voice is great for this. Thanks, dude. I'm glad you liked it. Yampasu times 10 million. And with that, also look, there's a little memo pad here, which is exactly what Harry used to save his game, was a little memo pad. That exact memo pad model. So with that, I would like to thank you all very much for watching. We're going to leave this at a cliffhanger. We are now in Silent Hill for the first time. We have made it to Silent Hill, and our destination, if you look at this, this is where Silent Hill 2 took place. Our destination is Brookhaven Hospital. We'll be going there tomorrow as we continue this and probably finish up Silent Hill 3. Thank you all very much for watching. If you missed any of this leading up to here, the VODs will be up on YouTube. They'll be on Twitch within no time flat. And if you missed Silent Hill 1 or 2 playthroughs, those will also be up on they're up on YouTube already. You can go check them out at any time. And thank you guys very much for watching. Have a great day. I hope you enjoyed. Root Cause of, thank you very much for the follow. I welcome you to the stream, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you guys, hopefully, tomorrow to continue and more than likely end Silent Hill 3, because we're about halfway through it. And hopefully we won't have nearly as many problems. Sorry about those guys. Unfortunately, this is a very old PC game from like 2003. It doesn't mesh well with current hardware, and it's a bad port. So troubles happen. Sometimes it crashes, sometimes it desyncs, but we're trucking through. I fixed it every time so far. Get fucked, Konami. I fixed it. Anyway, see you tomorrow, guys. Have a great day.